Hello everybody, it's Lewisk, and today I have for you a very long video with a lot to cover. So we have to cover the new Nemeses combos, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. These are all 1 and 2 card starters, and I separated them into categories. So first category is just 1 card combos, second category is Elder combos, number 3 is emergency teleport combos, number 4 is new Lara combos, and number 5 is special combos because they are like mixed teleport plus Elder and new Lara plus Elder, and also the pattern of play is different in those, so they belong separately. And we will go in this order because you will be able to notice repeating patterns. For example, you will see in new Lara there is a very interesting pattern in every single one of those, so I will talk about them. But just to give you a quick introduction of all of those combos, they basically work by making this rank 4, which will add Nemeses flag. This one will special summon himself, and he will add protos, and then we will use protos effect to call fire, and this way we will win against snake eyes. Alternatively, we can also call dark or light. For example, versus Melodius we can call light because we have this one which is light, and we can also always call dark because this one is dark. So all of these combos will basically be the same as my old combos. They will have more or less same amount of disruptions and same amount of follow-up, and on top of that they will have this fire FTK integrated in them. So this is, I think, the deck list is not finished and the extra deck is also not finished, but it's looking quite nice, I think. Another thing, yeah, no, let's just go into the replace now. So starting with 1 card canna protos line, it starts basically the same as the old line. So you should watch the pure lines first because the video is already uploaded, and then you can compare the differences. We search when because canna will banish now. And then the difference is here. We make Nochi, and we want to keep level 4 on the board to make the rank 4. So we will search once, and remember, this is the solo Conahawk line, which means we didn't use Elder effect. That's why we will be searching Elder. And now we will link away Nochi or Rerotari. And here we will explain the play once, and then this play will basically repeat itself every time, so we will just fast forward in the future. But summon Rerotari, use effect to add Canahawk, and then additional normal summon to summon Elder. Now we will summon Elder Canahawk, and Elder can still be summoned, special summoned, and Canahawk will deliver Apelio from the deck. So we have Elder plus Apelio. They will be able to search, and then we'll make a rank 4. Now we search states, and now here we enter the Nemesis part of the combo, which is more or less the same, just a few sequences are different in the different combos, but more or less this is the gist of it. So you make rank 4, which is fire pyro, by the way, and you search this one. Now use effect to return a resource. Most often you will return Refusion back to the extra deck, special summon, and we will add protos. Now, depending on the situation, sometimes you will not summon immediately, sometimes you will wait with Rerotari, as you will see in the future combos, but in this line we can simply summon protos, and because the fire was banished. While we control a pyro monster, he can reborn himself. We will use these two monsters to make IP, and then we will use protos effect to call fire and first turn kill the snake eyes. And now we have 1 disruption, 2 disruptions with SP and 4 disruptions. And very importantly, we also keep new Lara in the graveyard as our comeback resource for the next turn, in which we can do the, you know, the 13,000 damage kill like I showed in the previous video. And this is for the 1 card Protos line. Now there are 2 lines for Pengu. I will show this one first for the Protos, and this one is still quite poor. I didn't figure out a better way, but you can still kill the fires with only 1 Pengu, like this. We go into early rank 4 play because there is no other way to play this, I think, and we only searched Lara for next turn, and we just play only with Nemeses. We can call darks or fires. It should be enough if you play against darks or fires. But if you wish, there is an alternative way to play this solo Pengu line, but this one was discovered by a YouTuber called Chu, and this one requires you to play the corridor, that is the green Nemesis monster, and this one also requires you to play Ritual Beast Pettle, and this one will end on Colossus instead of Protos. It's a very different line. I've never saw this pattern of play before, so we will go a little bit slower. We will go at the start faster, and then we will slow down. Okay, so this is the first difference. He searches Elder here, and this is the key, and dumps Apelio, and now he goes into the Nemesis line as well. This part is similar, but he will search Corridor now. And recover a resource, then make SP banish Banshee, because we have a pyro on the field. Banshee will special summon himself. You should remember this pattern, because this basically allows you to climb into link 4 using only rank 4, you know, make a rank 4, get this one, summon this one, make SP banish this one, reborn, and now we have link 4. And now with this 4 we make Reotari. Now we have Elder Canahawk, and it's still a little bit different line how he plays. It's unexpected when I first saw it. So here it is, the required pettle, you need it, otherwise this does not work. And guess what he will search now? He will search another Canahawk, because this Canahawk will become Colossus, as you will see. And now these two become Falco. We banish Apelio from graveyard to normal summon Canahawk. Canahawk banishes a second name that we will special summon. Now we tag out Falco for these two. Now we search with these two, and we use Canahawk to make Colossus. So we have Reotari, Stitz, Colossus from 1 Rampengu, which is improvement, major improvement from previous old pure line. Okay, now we enter the Elder lines. Now we are moving on to Elder lines. We have Elder brick first. So this brick, this means Apelio or Winda, because all other lines are covered by other replays. So if you have new Lara, it's a separate line, and if you have pengu or canna it's a separate line. So only Apilio and Winda are in this category, but they are basically the same lines. So we just we don't show two different replays. The key is of course to search canna here and banish again. Get Noche Draco. Tag out for the two. Now we must tag out Noche Draco for Falco because we need the level 4 on the board. We banish Elder, summon canna effect, new Lara effect, special summon Pengu effect, Apilio. If it was different, you would Pengu effect for Winda here. Now we get one search. The search will be, we already used Elder, so we go for Stitz. Now we go into the Nemeses play, but first we banish Lara because we will need her at the end. Nemeses play, search flag, special summon flag, recover a resource, in this case Ulti Apilio, add Protos, link into Rerotari leaving this one on board. Here is a pattern. If well, you have to be careful that you will be able to resolve Banshee when it's banished. So in some cases you can leave flag on the board, but in some cases you will have to leave Ritual Beast on the board. Those second scenario comes into play in those lines where you will add canna with Rerotari and you will be able to get a second search. This is not the case here, so we can leave flag. We just add Lara because Lara will be able to revive Falco because we don't have any other names to revive. Now summon Protos, banishing light, wind and fire. Fire will revive itself. We will use Lara and fire to make IP, and then we will use this effect to FTK the fires. And this is the board. 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptions. Falco with a follow-up, new Lara in the graveyard. Now Elder Canna. This one will be able to give us 2 searches, and we will also be able to keep Noche Draco if done correctly. So summon, banish Lara. Do not use effect yet. Why not? This is for Nibiru lines, but I won't talk about this here. So just if you get Nibiru, you will be grateful for not using new Lara immediately. So let's just see if opponent Nibiru's us or not. In this case, of course, he won't. So we tag out, get Elder Canna, Lara to graveyard, search when, Canna effect again, get Pengu, tag into Falco, Falco effect, banish Canna. This is another pattern. Canna, it's best to have always banished because you never know when your Rerotari will have to add the Canna in the end to get another search. So just save yourself the trouble, always keep Canna banished. When effect, revive Pengu effect, Winda, no Winda, goes for the second Lara, because in these lines we used the trick with summoning 2 Laras at the same time. Summon Noche, banishing the Laras, Lara effect, summon Winda, and we enter the fire play before going into Laras, because Laras are level 1. Catch, search, return a resource, in this case Gaepilio, search Protos. Now we are making Rerotari, and you see in this case we keep when. Now watch, this is now very important. When was normal summoned and has not yet been special summoned, so we will be able to use when and something that Canna banishes, which will be Apilio, to get another search. This is the key to get the optimized 2 searches here. So adding Canna, like I said, Canna effect, banish Apilio. Now we get 1 search by summoning 2 Laras at the same time, which is Stitz, and we get the second search by summoning Wen and Apilio. And this is how you optimize the amount of searches while still keeping the Protoss line. We can get follow-up, or if you play 2 Stitz, you can get Stitz. Appeal effect, banish, just to keep our board banished. Now we banish 3, light, wind, and fire, and don't worry, we have a second Lara in the graveyard as well to summon Protos. Fire will reborn himself. This is to FTK the snake eyes, we call fire. Alternatively, you can call dark if you want, or light if you want. And now we make IP, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptions, fires can't play, Noche Drago protection, follow up for the next turn, and Lara in the graveyard. Elder plus Pengu. This one is similar. Pengu effect goes for Lara. Canna summon back and add old Lara. It can also be when if you want, but because we have Pengu, we can reborn from the graveyard. So we must drop the Canna here, make Falco. Falco banishes Gaia because we want to recover him later with Nemeses. Summon Lara. Lara reborn Canna effect goes for new Lara because we will use the trick with 2 Laras, right? Lara effect, summon Winda. This is the same. This is the same. We go into the fire line now. This is all the same. Add, return, add. Keep Lara on board as before. Summon Rerotari. Rerotari will add Canahawk. Canahawk will go for Apilio. All the same. This is the same pattern, so it's not so hard to remember. 2 Laras, first search, then Apilio plus Lara, second search. And now, because we have Apilio on the board, we can make the Protos play, because Apilio is Pyro. And so Banshee will be able to revive itself. Effect FTK the Snake Eyes and make IP and set Stits. That's it, same place, same resources as before, 2 searches, same setup, everything the same. And now we move to the next category, number 3, which is emergency teleport lines. All of these are very strong as well, so you should play 3 teleports. First we will start with teleport plus brick. Now let me just drink a little bit. Obviously, emergency teleport will go for new Lara. And then we normal summon, fusion summon into Canahawk, and new Lara summon Canahawk, banish Pengu. This is obvious, right? Combo tag out for fusion and the search. So let's think, we have Pengu effect, therefore we will go for Lara. Pengu drop Winda, and again we leave level 4 on the board, making Falco. Falco banishes, as we said, Canahawk, because Canahawk should be always banished. Lara will revive Winda. And now we go into the Nemesis play. It's similar setup as before, Falco, Lara, and Nemesis. Nemesis search and search again. And now we still have Lara as before. We leave Lara, we add Canahawk. This is the same. We wait with Protos until we get Apilio on the board. We only get 1 search here. Stits. And now we go for the Apilio effect, Protos effect. And yeah, so now we have Noche Drago, 1, 2, 3 disruptions, fires can play, Stits, and the same setup as before. New Lara is in the graveyard, and we have tag out, and we have ultimate Falco in the graveyard, so we can go into Falco. Falco goes into 2 different beasts, and all of that nice stuff. Now we see Elder, E-Teleport, and Canahawk. So this line, if you remember solo Canahawk, we had to sacrifice our Noche to make the board. So E-Teleport will make only this difference, that we will be able to keep the Noche. But you can also go for the single Canahawk line, and you can save your teleport in case of getting hand trapped. But if you don't get hand trapped, here's what you can do to keep the Noche Draco. It's the same line, except at one stages it's different. I will pause. So here, here we have canna and Lara, and now we use teleport. Why? Because we want to make Falco with 2 non-level 4 monsters, because we want to keep the level 4 monster on the board for Nemesis. This is all the pattern that you need to know, and the rest is basically standard. So pengu, Falco, Falco. When reborn pengu effect, drop Winda, keep Noche, and we get 1 search. This is etele line, which means we didn't use Elder, which means we can go for Elder. Now we can go for the Nemesis play. Search 1, search 2, recover a resource, get protos. Now we have Elder, so we can keep the pyro on the board. Add canna, Elder canna. Elder is still be able to special summon, that's why we have another search with Elder and Apelio here. But here there's a special sequencing here. We are stuck with too many monsters, so we had to make a special sequence. We now have banished 2 monsters to summon canna, and now at this time it is important, before you do the search, to summon protos, because now this one will be able to summon himself. And now this one will call fire, and unfortunately it will kill 2 of our monsters, but it's okay, doesn't matter. And this is, I don't think there's a better way to do this. And now you can tag out and get the search. So now we have Noche Draco. So yeah, it's up to you if you want to go for the Noche Draco line, or you can keep the emergency teleport for another time. And then of course we have etele plus pengu. So etele and pengu, this makes all the difference, because as you know, the solo pengu line, you either had only protos board, or you had to play the green corridor and pettle fin to make the Chu line, which ended on Reirotari, canna, Searched Steeds, and Colossus. But if you have teleport and pengu, here's what you can do. Teleport gets the Pelican, and pengu gets new Lara. Banish and tag out. Search old Lara. Summon again with Noche Draco to get fuel for tag out, and also trigger Lara effect to summon when. So here this is quite important, because at this stage you can be quite confused what to summon with new Lara, because you know canna is not in the game yet. Winda is not in the game yet, so this is actually quite important situation to remember, that in this line you have to get for when here, because we will have to use Winda later, which is level 4, and we will revive canna with Lara after pengu drops it. So this is not so standard, so this should be marked with a star on your notes, and remember it's important to get when here, otherwise you will fumble the combo. Oh, now we can tag out. And now we can get the canna in the game. Now we link away those 2, we keep the level 4 on board. We always keep level 4s in Nemesis build. We banish Apelio because we want to recover the resource later with Nemesis package. Summon Lara, remove canna effect, banish now Winda. As you will see exactly now. We go for Canna, and Canna revives back into Winda and Lara. Otherwise, if we spent Winda earlier, this would not work anymore. We search Elder because this is emergency teleport line, so we haven't used Elder yet. And now we go into the fires. Standard search number 1, record the resource, special summon, and get search number 2, get protos. And now let's see. We have a big board, we have Elder. What we can link into? Rarotari. We can leave this one. We can add Canna, Elder Canna banishes Appeal. This is standard. And we get same as before. We are clunky, so we summoned Canna first, then Protos, then Revive. Now Protos will use his effect, clear our fires, both of them, unfortunately. I don't know what to do with them. If you have a better play, please let me know. But now Snake Eyes can't play, and now we get the search, which would be Stitz. And Appelia effect, and same as before, we have all the setup. Nochi, Falco in graveyard, 2 targets, new Lara in graveyard, Stitz, 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptions, Snake Eyes can't play, everything. Okay, we are now moving to category number 4. This is, I think, the most stupid ones to play and the most hard ones, new Lara category. And the pattern in these categories is that since you are starting with new Lara, you have one normal summon available still. Therefore, in all those 3 lines, we will try to assemble in our hand Elder plus Pengu or Elder plus Canna. Additionally, all those 3 lines will abuse the 2 new Lara trick to get the extra search. So you should remember these 2 things for these lines. So let's start with new Lara plus Brick. Also, let's say we have 2 Laras. So we always start by new Lara effect to get the additional normal summon. And now we banish them both for Nochi. New Lara effect, special summon Canna effect, banish second Lara. Remember, in all the lines we go for 2 Laras. Effect to tag out into old Lara. Now fusion summon and tag out and search. Search what? Elder. Get the 2 Laras. Now banish 2 Laras and search for what? Pengu, because we already used Canna. Yeah. Okay, and now we have Elder Canna, Elder Pengu line. But it's not completely the same, you know, because we already used some of the resources. So it's a little bit tricky, so we will go over it. Elder Pengu effect. Go for Winda. This line is trickier, especially because we already used Nochi. So we have to be very careful by managing our names so that they are banished just enough. Because we can't banish them with Nochi anymore. That's why. So get Canna. Canna searches once, and we will revive from graveyard. So we will search Lara. Oh, Pilica, because we already spent Lara at the start. So Pengu effect drops Appelia. So we have now 2 live names, Winda and Appelia in the graveyard. We will banish one with cost for Falco, and the second one we will revive. Also, I forgot to mention, in these new Lara lines, they are very resource intensive. You basically need all the names in the deck. So if you hard draw too many names, you won't be able to do this combo fully. Also, this will eat through your extra deck. But yeah, I think it's still the best line to go for if you open this. So again, using Canna as material to make Falco, because we want to keep the level 4 Falco effect. Important to banish Appelia, which is one of the 2 names that have not yet been special summoned, and now we additional normal summon Pilica Reborn, Winda. So now we have Pilica, Appelia, and Canna still, I think. No, Canna was already used, I believe. So we get Pilica and Apilio. Search for Stitz Apilio effect, just so that we feel we banish this one which we want to recover with Nemesis. So yeah, Apilio in this case. Now we go for Nemesis. Fast forward. Search, recover, special search. Okay. Now we link away into Rotari. This is the kind of line that leaves a flag on board because we don't have another way to search with ritual beasts. So banish now, because we have a pyro on board, we can revive. This is the most crucial thing to remember. Just you have to have the pyro on board to be able to revive this one. Also, we waited with Rotari until now because Lara was not banished. We banished Lara with Protos, very important. Now Rotari effect, add Lara and Lara summon and special summon Falco. Now we use these two to make IP, and now use Protos to FTK Snake Eyes, or Fires, or Lights, or Darks if you want, or Winds. Anything you want to FTK you can. Now we move to New Lara plus Canna and New Lara plus Pengu lines. These two lines will get you 2 searches, so additional recovery search on top of everything that we saw now. Okay, this one is New Lara Canna. Banish New Lara, summon Canna effect, banish New Lara, and we go for 2 Laras, remember. And we also go for assembling Elder plus Pengu in our hand. New Lara effect, special summon Old Lara. Banish into Canna and search Elder. Banish again, and now tag out into 2 Laras, and now fusion again, and now search Pengu. And now we have Elder plus Pengu, and we have this on board. So we have Noche Drago also additionally, which we didn't have before. Summon, Winda, and we get 1 search. We go for, because we have Canna now, we go for Pilica. It's a trick question because Winda is in the graveyard and we want to recover Gaia Pilio, I think. Banish Pilio. Now again, leaving level 4 on board, we use Fusion and Elder to make Falco. Oh, we want to recover Canna. Okay. Summon Pilica effect. Reborn Winda. Now we get 1 search. And now, like I said, this will eat through your extra deck. So if you want to make this play, be prepared to risk it a little bit at this spot. Because now we want to use Pengu effect to get more names in the banishment zone. But this forces us to banish our second Canna. So if you play 2 Canna, they are both gone now. We will recover 1 with Nemesis. But if Nemesis gets negated, then we don't have Canna anymore. So if you are worried about this, don't do this play. Yeah. We get the fire. Search 1, recover Canna now. Search Protos. And now we are leaving Pilica on board. Because we can still do 1 search. That's why. We will normal summon Canna, get a new name in the game, which is our last tamer, Wen, and now we have Wen plus Apilio still left. That's why we left Pilica. We get a second search, which can be a recovery card, in this case New Lara, because we used all the tamers. Now Apilio effect, and since we have a pyro on the board, we can go for the Protos play now. Banish Wind, Light and Fire, in this case. Falco, Banshee and New Lara. Revive Banshee. Kill Snake Eyes, make IP. 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptions. Recovery search, Noche with Falco and names in the graveyard. Fire is negated. And the recovery stuff in the graveyard, allowing us to turn 3 OTK with empty board and empty hand if you have to, like I showed in my previous video. And lastly, new lara and pengu. It is similar as above, so we will go a little bit faster. New lara effect. We go for 2 laras. 2 laras here. Search elder and canna in hand. Now we have elder canna. Summon both. Banish winda, get 1 search. It's important to get Pilica still. Banish Apilia. Summon Falco by leaving canna on board. Falco effect. Summon Pilica, revive the pengu. Pengu effect, same as before. In this case, I just banish Rarotari, but we will recover Rarotari, you know. But you could also banish. You could also do the search first and then banish canna if you want. So search steeds and now banish canna if you want. And now when you go into Banshee play, you can recover the canna, or in my case I recover Rarotari, and we go into the protos line. And the same as before, we leave Pilica on board, and now the rest is the same. Summon, banish, search 1. Now we have the Pyro on board, so we go for the protos. And we banish Falco, so we have more resources, FTK the Snake Eyes, and go for the IP Masquerina. Or we can also, like I said, alternatively kill all the lights like Melodious, or we can kill the darks with protos. And now we are approaching the end of this video, and we have 2 more lines which are category 5 because they contain a spicy play which you must do in order to get this good board. So yeah, these lines you have to remember separately. So let's go with teleport plus elder. So this one is special because it's like a teleport line but with elder, so we have a free normal summon. Because we have a free normal summon, we will use it to normal summon canna. And with that in mind, we make this play. We do not summon canna from new lara because we want to search him. And effect search canna. Now normal summon canna because we have a normal summon free. And now this is a second important step here. We must banish winda necessarily, otherwise this does not work. Figure out for yourself why this does not work without winda. It will be fun exercise. But yeah, it has to be winda. I'm just kidding. I will tell you in the future why winda is needed. So now we get the canna, and now we tag out for winda and canna. And we search for graveyard revival lara. Effect canna, banish pengu, and now use both canna to go into the Falco. And now you will see why this must be winda. If this was Wen or something else, we would be stuck. Effect Falco, summon Lara, and Lara go for elder. And now we have 3 tamers. But winda is spiritual beast tamer, that's why it can be used as both, so we can get the search here. Lara and pengu, search steeds, pengu effect, go for Apilia. Now summon Nochi. And now the only way to get a rank 4, as you can see we don't have any rank 4s, is to tag out Nochi. This is also special in this line. So we use effect to recover, and now we go for the fires. Summon, recover, search. Now we have a pyro, so we can summon protos immediately, and we are waiting with this effect again because we don't have anything else to summon. So we want to banish Lara first with protos. Make IP first, then FTK the fires, then get Lara and Falco. Additionally, you can leave Lara in hand and have it for next turn, or you can have Falco. This is optional. You have rare Atari 1, 2 disruptions, 3, 4 disruptions, FTK, and you can have this on board, or you can have this in hand, because you cannot get another search here. So this is optional. Whatever you think it's better. So this one will get you more protections, like this one will revive into Winda and Lara. Otherwise, you just have it in the hand for the next turn, you know. So this will be able to stitch for 4 names if you have to. Otherwise, you will be only able to stitch for 1. And lastly, we have new Lara plus Elder. Similar tricks as before, but not exactly similar. I mean, not at all, because here you don't want to discard new Lara to get Elder, because this will not work. You can just normal summon Elder and normal summon Lara. Go into Cannock, and now this is the special scenario which we summon Pengu, not Cannock. This is special in this case. You have remembered it separately, because our situation is we want to tag out for 2, but we also want to search, and the Pengu is the only one that gives us a banishment and also gives us a new name in the banishment in the graveyard. I tried this with Cannock and it does not work, so you have to get the Pengu here. Now Pengu effect will get Cannock. Now we can tag out and search. Of course, we search the graveyard revival, so Lara. And now we make Falco, additional summon Lara reborn Cannock, Cannock banish Winda. And now we go into one more search, into Stitz, and now we go into the standard fireplay. We had to bounce back Cannock, as you saw, because we didn't have anything else. Add Protos, link away, link Pyro, summon Nochi. This gives us also Lara in the banishment zone. Summon Protos. Because we have Pyro, it revives. We use those 2 to make IP. Because we are kind of stuck on the names. And now, same as before, we can add Lara, and now we can keep her in hand, or we can summon to get a Falco as well. And that's it. Stay tuned for the next video, where I think we will try to discover some Nibiru lines. First, go to Choose channel and check his lines, and I will do that as well. And then I will try to see if there's anything that we can improve on. And now for the last part of this video, let's go a little bit to the decklist discussion. So here I have 42 cards. First I want to talk about Shifter and 40 card decks. So I think our deck is a deck that of course plays Shifter as the best hand trap, and I think that you want to draw Shifter every time you go first or second. So in order to maximize this, especially when going second, it makes sense to play 40 cards. Having said that, I don't know what to cut, so I just put everything in. Of course, as you saw in my combos, none of them use Corridor, so we could easily put Corridor away to make this 41 card deck, and then we can cut another hand trap to make that 40 card deck. Like we can cut Nibiru, because it's hard once per turn. Then we have 14 hand traps and 40 card decks. But I have not tested any games yet with Corridor, so for now and for the testing phase I will just keep the deck as such. Okay, now let's go into the details of the deck. First I play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playsets of hand traps. which I think are the best hand traps to play against Snake Eyes. Of course, the theory is pretty simple. You just stop the Ash play with Veilers Impermanence, and you stop the Flamberge Search with Ash, and you stop the whole deck by Shifter. And if you can't stop it, then you can at least Nibiru it a little bit. And the rest is pretty much standard. 1 Stitz, Y1, because 2 can brick, especially when going second, and also when you go first, you can assume that you will get 1 or 2 hand traps. So if you get 1 or 2 hand traps, you will never be able to get the 2 searches. So 1 search, 1 Stitz is nice. The rest is basics. We have 1 of each. These are the required tamers. This is the idea which I got from my friend Ed. He said it's better to play 1 Shield Bearer, 2 pengus than 3 pengus. And this is true. The reasons are: first, it thins the deck. Second, it banishes itself, making Nemesis live immediately. And thirdly, it has an ability to banish a light monster from your graveyard to draw 1 card. Maybe this comes handy sometimes. You can banish new Lara, or you can banish like Nochi Drago and Gaepilio from the graveyard to draw a card. So maybe. And then we have 3 of the best cards. Then we have 3 teleports and 3 prosperities. So prosperities, I really honestly hate them. There is nothing I want to banish from my extra deck, and I miss it every time. Of course, you have to prosperity for 3, and even then you can brick, so it does not feel nice. But Ed has made some, and of course, I mean, you don't have to do a mathematical study to realize that prosperity boosts your consistency a little bit. But the downside, I think, in this deck is very real, so it has to be considered. And here is just the Nemesis package, 1, 2, 3 cards, and Banshee and Colossus. You can cut Corridor and Colossus if you don't want, but, you know, for now, experimenting. And this one is, of course, is required. And now, what I don't play is Inheritance. Inheritance is another card that boosts your consistency and allows you to do some neat tricks, like Chu explained in his videos. And secondly, it can also, I mean, it's very important for going second because you have 6 cards in hand and you are very likely to have at least 1 Ritual Beast monster, and then you'll be able to search Elder, because, you know, starting with Elder is the most important thing going first. So you can ask me, how the fuck am I not playing Inheritances? But I really don't like them because, you know, some percentage of the time you will just open Inheritance and no Ritual Beasts. This is completely absurd and so bad. I don't know why they made this requirement that you need a Ritual Beast to search another Ritual Beast. Because the problem with our deck is that it doesn't have enough good starters and Ritual Beast monsters. So this does not help if we brick with 0 monsters. We can add a second one anyway. Secondly, it's a -1 because you have to discard to search. And, you know, the third reason is that, you know, I don't want to cut hand traps any further. We are already at 15 and we are considering 14 hand traps, which is a little bit low in my opinion. Although my friends like Ed, they play 9, but I think that it's not correct to play that low amount. And so the last thing to talk about, what do they play instead of hand traps? So they play some copies of Inheritances. They may also play some board breakers, and they are also trying to play like Book of Eclipse, because Book of Eclipse is good when you go first. It can help you dodge some hand traps while setting your monsters. This also dodges Nibiru, by the way, and your monsters can still be tagged out when they are set. So they are protecting their place when going first with the Book of Eclipse. But my approach is a simpler one, and maybe it's a naive one, maybe it's a stupid one, or maybe it's correct one. But I'm saying I should not worry about going first. I should only worry about going second. So this is how I try to solve the issue, by simply by trying to minimize my opponent's board by a lot of hand traps. But this is not my personal thing, because the entirety of the format is doing the same. So either we are doing something wrong, or that is the correct way to handle this snake eyes infested format. And now, if you move to the extra deck, let's look at the... So 1 Caepilio, 2 Draco, 2 Canhawk and 1 Apilio. This has been the same all the time, and it still remains the same. Apilio remains. You have to play it for these combos. We have been able to cut Kim Falcos to only 1 copy. In the old days, we had to play 2 copies. The first copy was always banished for pengu effect to drop Winda, and the second copy was summoned. But now, with the inclusion of Nemesis package, we have the recovery resource available, so we can banish Gaia Pilio for pengu, and then we recover it with Nemesis monsters, so we don't have to play 2 Falcos. 1 Rare Otari. Then I still love the Board Breaker package, which is Access Code, Unicorn and Anima. And Anima is also good with SP, you know. She gives you the banish, and she may also bait Appaloosa, steal monsters and stuff like that. You can make her with Lara. Unicorn, you make him with Falco, because you can revive Falco for free with Lara, and Lara plus Falco is immediately into Unicorn. And you can also co-link him with Rerotari. This one points up, so you summon him below extra monster zone, and you summon this one on top, then they are co-linked. You can also co-link him left and right with SP, and it's good for breaking boards. Then of course, as you saw, we use IP in going first combos. Almost basically every combo uses IP. IP goes into SP, and this is 2 disruptions in 1 card. And now we have Colossus as our flex choice of this testing deck. You can make him with Corridor, and lastly the requirement for the ritual, for the Nemesis packages. Cards I want to consider are Zelentis. We can make him by attributing this one, and when we revive him, we can also co-link them, so up and down, or we can co-link with left and right. So we have some place with this, but I just don't know where to put him. And then for the Nibiru lines, we will see if Link Spider is required. I think it is. I'm afraid it is. I don't know how I will include that one. And then another thing that I want to consider, but I don't know how the hell to include it, is Hita, the Fire Charmer. And you can also include, you know, the entire Promethean Princess package if you want. Promethean Princess into Raging Phoenix. This all works with Zelentis as well. Yeah, so many cards to play and so little space. So if you want to play any of those cards, I'm afraid you have to go to the Board Breaker package. But I don't think they are better than it. I mean, the Board Breaker package is quite versatile and useful. And now for the side deck, it's not finished, it's just thrown together quickly, but let's talk about it to give you some ideas. Now I have now some more experience in the current format, so I can tell you against which decks you would side these cards. So of course, no comment on the 5 back row removal spells, you just side them against back row decks. And you can also side this for monster decks that don't have any protections, and of course you also side this against Tenpai to kill their field spell. Evenly also does not require any commentary. Ogre is also good versus Tenpai, you can kill their monster or field spell. Diddy Crow is necessary for branded and other stuff that relies on the graveyard, such as Melodious. By the way, Ghost Bell is better against Melodious than Diddy Crow, because Ghost Bell can also negate Ostinato. And lastly, we have Droplet, which can be used against anything that makes annoying monsters, such as Melodious. You can negate their etele against Voiceless Voice, and against branded you can prevent getting locked. So I think these are good cards. You should consider some of them at least. And this is it for this video. Whisk is signing out. Bye bye.